Hey, Earth Science, just real quick, I want to go over the work for this week. So this is the week of April 27th. Let me share my screen here. So I will spend most of my time going over this section. I think this is going to be the most challenging work of the week. So the enrichment. I'll talk a little bit about the lab that I'm asking you to do. You don't need any special paper or materials other than what you have with you. And then the first couple pages are your reading response. So you should have read the reading assignment pages 233 through 237 this week. Finished the reading response packets. I'm not posting it on the Google Classroom. I did not have, I think I had like 2 total people submit work online last week. So if we're just going to do that on paper, that's fine. I'll just plan on looking through the paper packets. Shape of the ocean floor, that is the lab that I have assigned that I'll spend a little bit of time on, the enrichment, and then the last 2 assignments on Thursday and Friday are your review and reinforce, and then the assessment for the week. So let's get started. Your reading and response questions are all pretty much vocabulary questions with a couple just questions to go along with your reading. So all of these can be found in your book, specific answers such as like in ocean water, which ion is the most common, which salt, that is directly out of your book. So these questions you can for sure find just by doing your reading. The quick lab, maps show landforms from above. A profile shows a landform from the side in cross section. In this activity, you will make a profile of part of the ocean floor. So the study the features on the ocean floor in a line from the east coast of the United States to the northwest coast of Africa. Starting from North America, draw a profile that shows the shape of landforms along this line. So I'll draw a quick line on the next page on the map. So you'll need your map that I provided for you, this paper, and a pencil. Okay, so this is going to be a little challenging for you to see from, like, with it being tilted this way, but I think we can make it work. Okay, so it asks you to draw a line from, let's see if I can change the colors. Draw a line from the northeast part of the Americas to the northwest part of Africa. So that line right there. Not sure if you can see that all that well. See if I can change colors. Nope. Ooh, that's cool. I'm not gonna do that. Let's just go back to a line. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice line. All right. So what it wants you to do, what we want you to do is to make a cross-section view. So if you were to tilt this map on its side and you were to cut the Earth in half, what would this section of the Earth look like? So back up here. Oop, I guess my line wants to come with me. Let's go ahead and clear that. Clear all. Okay, so back up here. It wants me to draw a cross-section map. So if North America started here and South America, or I'm sorry, Africa was over here, what does the land, if I had cut the Earth in half and looked at it from the side, look like? So going back down to the map, I see that it starts off higher elevation right at the coast, dips way down deep, and then I see that mid-Atlantic ridge that we talked about, term 2. So the elevation is going to go higher, lower until I get to the coast of Africa. So back up here, I'm going to make my drawing to match that. So the elevation is higher, it's going to go lower, ocean floor, mid-Atlantic ridge. Okay, that's a really like subpar drawing. I mean, if that's what you'd like to submit, can't fault you too much. So just do what you can as far as like making an observation of what that area of the ocean floor looks like. You see that mid-Atlantic ridge right there. We see the coast of North America here and the coast of Africa here. So it is literally that straightforward. So make sure to answer the questions to go along with that. And then again, call, email, text, post on the classroom, whatever you need to do to contact me if you have questions specific to that assignment after you've watched this video. This next one is a little trickier. So you will need a calculator. It doesn't say that in the materials, but you will need a calculator. I'm going to show you how to do both sodium chloride and magnesium chloride. So the instructions are, on average, 1 kilogram of ocean water contains about 35 grams of salts. That is, salts make up about 3.5% of the mass of ocean water. Although sodium chloride is the most abundant and familiar salt in seawater, many other salts are also dissolved in seawater. The table below shows the salts that a scientist recovered by evaporating 100-gram sample of ocean water. The second column of the table lists the mass of each salt recovered. So in order to solve this table, I need to use these two equations. So for the number of degrees on a circle graph, use the equation to fill the third column of the table. So right here, I need to use the mass of salt and then the total mass. So I'm taking the mass divided by total mass, and that's going to give me, that's going to solve for x here. So for example, I'm taking 2.72, and then I'm going to divide that by 3.5. So over 3.5. I use my calculator and I get 0.77. So the answer from here goes to 0.77 in my on my equation. So now I have 0.77 divided by 360. So my second part of the equation is 0.77 divided by 360. Okay, so the number of, something's not making sense here. Cool. Let's try this again. 77 divided by 360. Total number of degrees on the circle. So we're getting the percentage. Okay, you know what? Honestly, I'm not actually going to have you do the graph anyways, because you don't have protractors. So since I'm on the struggling side of this, how about we do one of these? So if you're watching this video, you are in luck. Let's cross off that table. Unless I can get this figured out, but it doesn't seem like something here is making sense, because we shouldn't have 0.0012 degrees on a circle graph. You know what? If you're able to figure out where I'm making a mistake here, how about we do this? If you're able to figure out where I'm making a mistake here, you figure out that section of the table correctly, I'll see what I can dig out of the school store for some sort of prize. I think that would be a pretty fair trade-off. So you teach me a little something, you teach me some math, not a math teacher, then make it worth your while. So if you can figure out this section of the table here, if you can figure out that section of the table here, then we will see what we can come up with. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that out again. So this is optional. Actually, let's write that extra credit. I don't know why I'm writing that. Undo, extra credit. Sweet. That's what we've come to these days, guys. Distance learning. Brain is fried. All right, well, in that case, let's figure out the total percentages. So to figure out the total percentages, that's actually significantly easier. You're actually going to take this first part of the equation. So again, that would be the 2.72 divided by that 3.5, and it's going to give you a decimal. So that decimal was, see, 2.72 divided by 3.5. That actually gives you a decimal of 0.777, which we'd round up to 0.78. So now that we have that 0.78, that's actually your percentage, right? So 0.78, in order to convert that over to a percentage, you multiply times 100. So 0.78 times 100. I'm going to clear this off. 0.78 times 100 is 78. So the percentage of total salts that are sodium chloride are 78%. Okay, same thing for magnesium. So I'm taking 0.38. Divided by 3.5. This looks like it's going to be a pretty small decimal. Divided by 3.5 gives me 0.11. And then I'm going to multiply that 0.11 times 100. And that gives me 11%. Okay, so after you have finished this section of the graph, I want you to go through, I want you to just look through, see if you can figure out how to solve the number of degrees in the circle section of this challenge. I'm gonna work on that too. Feel like I should have done that maybe before making a YouTube video, but here we are. So do what you can, see if you can solve that, and then moving on to the key concept summary, read and respond, vocabulary work. It's just filling in some blanks so that you can use your book, you can use your textbook to help you figure out the questions here. So this table is available in your reading. Same with all of these follow-up questions, and then your vocabulary review finally on Friday. So just a quick review, overview of the week. Make sure to complete this lab. I did that demonstration for you. I want to see your own work. You can make it as simplistic or you can make it as complicated and complex as you'd like. If you want to choose a different section of the Earth and you'd like to do a cutaway of that, just make sure you're labeling that on your map. And then back to this page, remember the number of degrees on a circle graph is optional. That's extra credit. First person to submit a completely correct section of this table will dig down deep, find some sort of prize, and then percentage of total salts, that is finding the percentage. So if you have questions, again, please make sure you are contacting me. Email, text, call, post in the classroom, all that good stuff. So that's where I'm going to end this. Make sure to like and subscribe.